I really say happy to see now, including leaders and government, is really taking seriously about the global warming or these things. It is really very, very, encouraging thing. Wonderful. I noticed, some time back, some Earth Summit in different places. Sometimes not that much so serious. And then also, not fully implement these things. Sometimes the national interest first, then global interest second. I think now time come, the global warming, affect everybody, every nation, not one or two individuals or nations. So therefore, now we should now think more on global issue. Then national interest is automatically, involved like that. Then I always feel we are now 21st century. Time always moving. With new time, new reality there. So we have to accept the new reality. Facing new reality, but our perception is old thinking. Then, I think a lot of problem, unnecessary problem, happen. So we must act according new reality. Otherwise, there's a gap, our perception and the reality gap. So then all our efforts become unrealistic. So therefore, I think now serious interest about global warming or environment issue, I think now this is one hopeful sign. Now, I think they taking care about our only home, this planet, is not just government's responsibility. All humanity, all individuals have the responsibility. And then, I always telling, the war, bloodshed, immediately striking in our mind. But the damaging the ecology or these global the warming, these things, without much obvious, but invisibly, month by month, decay. So once we feel some difficulties to breathing, difficulties to eyes, and particularly children, then maybe too late. So therefore, this something very serious, and then each of us, 7 billion human beings, taking care about global these global issue should be part of our life. So in our daily life, always keep some serious thinking. If I do this, it eventually some effect. So if I do one single person, then other 10 people, 100 people, 100,000, then change start from individual. Then effect come. So therefore, this is something I think I always feel something very, very urgent. Then I also feel firstly the gap rich and poor. Millions of poor people. In some cases, they're facing starvation. So the economic development still we need. And then also human population increasing. And in this century, human population will reach about 10 billions. So meantime, they reduce this gap means not richer people become poor. No. The poor people's living standard should sort of say, uplift. So it is not easy. It is very, very complicated. But certain is our lifestyle. I think our century-old our lifestyle, and particularly modern materialistic lifestyle, I think this, I think we should consider very seriously and think very seriously if this lifestyle can go indefinitely. And this generation, now I think a critical period, the beginning of this 21st century. So now, if we, you see, due to some kind of short-sightedness or lack of global sort of what's the thinking, then I think, of course, I'm monk, no children. So those people who have children, they will get, you see, grandchildren. I think they will suffer. So it is our generation's sort of responsibility. Make safe world, then let them enjoy. I think we just to see maximum sort of exploitation, nature resources, without thinking negative consequences on coming generation, next generation, it is immoral. So we have to, as a human being, animal we can't blame. They cannot think. We human being, we are talking past century and future century. So we have to act with sense of responsibility and safer world. Our generation, we will go. Then we have to hand it over our younger generation, safe world. That's my feeling. Good morning.
Good morning.
Please sit down. Firstly, I want to express my sincere greetings and welcome. This place now nearly 56 years. After 59 April, when I reached India as a political asylum, 1 year, exactly 1 year spent at Mussoorie. Then summer 60, I come this place. So major portion of my life spent this place now. Since my age, I think 26. Now 80 years old. Now which place where I will die, I don't know. Here or some other places, I don't know. But important is, while you're alive, so day by day, your life should be meaningful. Meaningful means, if possible, serve other, help other. If not, restrain harming other. So that's sensible life, meaningful life. So then, when I look back, last 56 years, and then furthermore, I think except my childhood, I think most of my life, I think I spent, I think quite meaningful. And much time also wasted. Particularly when I was, because of the teenage, not much pay attention for study. No question of practice. Study also is not much pay attention. So I think some years I wasted. Otherwise, I think
I carry my life, I think very meaningful. So you also, same human being. You should not think Dalai Lama is something special. Don't think that we are same human being. Emotionally, mentally, physically, we are same. As a matter of fact, we all part of 7 billion human beings on this planet. So not like ancient time. Ancient time is each continent more or less self-sufficient. And within the continent, each country or even each village are more or less self-sufficient. So not much connection. Now today's world, heavily interdependent. So that's the reality, new reality. And global warming makes difference because of that. Global warming makes some effect on people's life. Entire world facing same way. So global economy, also no national boundary, no religious boundary. And I think the technology, computer, these also is no national boundary, no religious boundary, right? No boundary of color, isn't it? So all these factors bring us come together. So century-old our thinking is too much sort of emphasis on the secondary level of differences, color, races, and faith, different nationality, different country. That now old way of thinking. Now time come, we have to think sameness or oneness of 7 billion human beings. Then particularly now, current sort of situation, a lot of killing, a lot of fear, not come on the basis of we are same human, because of the basis of, on human level. No. All these problems, you see, come on the basis of secondary level of differences. When we go the first level, we are same human being. Tiger or lion, say, kill human being. Sometimes we feel very sorry. Sometimes surprise. That's understandable. But then a human being killing another human being. And sometimes really, instead of sort of the feeling of pain, others were concern of other persons sort of pain, you feel happy. Oh, I killed 10 people, 100 people. And sometimes the people consider, you see, people who killed over 100,000, then we call hero. All these, obviously, with too much emphasis on secondary level of differences. So a lot of problems happen because of with too much emphasis on secondary level of differences. Now there is no other way except we must go first level, we are same human being. Clear? That's my conviction. Wherever I meet people, talk, I always say emphasis, we are same human being. Like, I think, big garden. We need different flower with different color, different size. That helpful to create beautiful, attractive garden. But all this must remain together. Like that, we, people, different color, different sort of because of the society, different language. It's like different flowers, like that. But we all have to live together, happily. If one flower, because of something,
Stands out.
맞다. 야 쉬우죠. 야채물 사지. 메다스나 돈은 그 고유 상식도.
When one flower gets too big, so that the rest and others around it are kind of, not able to grow well, then we need to take that on.
So even flower, you see, no pain, you see, no like the human rights sort of concept, but you see, even flower, I think, kasoda live more kasoda in a harmonious way, then beautiful. So we human being, 7 million human being, I think, should remain harmoniously with one's own unique cultural heritage, unique color on this. That's beautiful. And faith. Okay, each faith. I think basically all major sort of tradition, all major religious tradition, you see, talking, practice of love, all same. Judaism, Christianity, Islam, many Hinduism, same. Except, like all you see have this, something like there's a basic sort of nature of flower like that. All major religious tradition. I think all major religious tradition, when they describe their sort of God, nobody say our God is full of anger. Nobody say that, isn't it? Full of love. So that actually, you see, they try to bring conviction, follower of this religious tradition. The sacred, there's a sacredness of love, right? Or practice love, or in order to bring enthusiasm. The all is to say, oh, God is infinite love. Wonderful. If anyone, you see, say, any religion say, our God is full of anger, then the follower of that God is worthy to kill more people. But Allah, infinite love. Jesus Christ, infinite love. Isn't it? So, I think, so all major religious tradition, the religious aspect, I always is telling, the all major religious tradition, 3 aspects. Number 1 aspect is religion. That is a message of love, practice of love. And for that is also, you see, practice of forgiveness, practice of tolerance, practice of contentment. It's too much greed. Sometimes it doesn't develop this negative emotion. So practice of contentment, and practice of self-discipline. All major religious traditions say same way, same thing. Then philosophical aspect, there's differences. Major religious tradition believe creator. The Sankhya philosophy, ancient, I think 3,000 years old. India sort of one very, very ancient sort of tradition, Sankhya philosophy. One part, no concept of creator. Then Jainism. You from India, originally. Where you born? Chennai. Recently I went Chennai. A lot of rains there. I think some Chennai people make because of complaint to me, or Dalai Lama come, a lot of rains come. So a lot of because of the discomfort. So in this country, I think Sankhya philosophy, I think over 3,000 years, very old. One part of Sankhya philosophy, no concept of creator. Then Jain philosophy, Mahavira, no concept of creator. And Buddha, no concept of creator. So only these three major religious traditions of India, you see, their philosophical views are no creator. So self-creation. So that's non-theistic religion. All rest of the major religious tradition, all little differences here and there, but otherwise basically all except creator. But then we have to ask, what the purpose of this different philosophy? Then same. To different people, bring enthusiasm to practice of love, practice of compassion. You see, these different philosophical views, according different mental disposition, these philosophical differences come. You see, concept of God, creator, very powerful to bring enthusiasm to practice of love, compassion, wonderful. Then similarly, those non-theistic religion, you see, their main sort of, theory is law of causality. If you do good, you get benefit. Good, bad means entirely based on happiness and suffering. So anything which related with suffering is bad. Anything which related with because of the happiness is good. So therefore, you see, since you are your own creator, self-creation. So if you do good thing to help other, you get benefit. If you do something negative towards other, you get negative consequences. So that also is to some people, that way of approach, very, very helpful. All responsibility, you see, because of that, put on our own shoulder. Otherwise, sometimes it's God's grace. I carry some different things. Now these days, I sort of have jokes, jokingly, you see, telling people, you see, many of our sort of the troublemaker, they also pray to God. So if they have the opportunity to sing like Burmese or Buddhist terrorist, if you see Buddha comes, or they certainly have to pray to Buddha, then of course they follow of Allah, some problems, killing. They all pray to Allah, and Christians also pray to God like that. So if we see opportunity to see our God, Jesus Christ, or Buddha, Muhammad, and we ask, please bring peace. And I think these the great teacher may respond, or these violence or these problems, I not created, but you created. So since all these problems you created and use free will, I give you out of compassion, free will. You utilize wrong way. So therefore, all this problem you created. So it is your responsibility to solve this problem. These problems, since you created, but pray to me to solve this. Illogical. What do you think? So therefore, I think the theistic religion concept of creator very powerful. According to that sort of belief, all human beings are son of God, son of that kind of It's infinite love. So we, if not practice love, we are quite shameful. Our Father, our Creator is such a wonderful, compassionate, isn't it? So very powerful. Then, to some people, this, as I already mentioned, is a self-creation. Also very, very, very powerful. So, different philosophy, we should look purpose of this different philosophy, then same. So, the aim or purpose is same. So, different method, different way, doesn't matter. Like different food, South Indian food, North Indian food, or European food. It's a different color, different taste. But nobody quarrel. I love this food. You should love this. We cannot say, isn't it? So all agree, different variety of food, same purpose, to nourish our body. So no problem. Then, one aspect of different tradition, I feel cultural heritage. I was told, so when Mahavira come, at that time, immense animal sacrifice. So even you see, such sort was the amount of animal sacrifice. So it affect the economy, the area. Too many animals killed. So at that sort of circumstances, Mahavira come. Because of the cultural because of the circumstances, that kind of was the habit. So he particularly emphasizes non-violence and vegetarianism. So similarly, I think the Judaism, Old Testament, you see, eye for eye, some kind of little bit tough. Because of the circumstances at that time, the Jewish people at that time, you see, a lot of hostile these things. So I think because of that circumstances, you see, in the sacred book, you see some emphasis. So similarly, Muhammad, Quran, you see that area, more nomad area, isn't it? Arab, Saudi Arabia, this area. So the nomad, no sort of permanent sort of residence or something, and moving here and there, and a little bit of lawlessness easily you see happen. So in his teaching, some emphasis about Sharia law. I feel that. And then Buddhism also. You see, although Buddha give equal right, male and female, but a little sort of also because of the distinction. Male should first, female next. Although his basic sort of teaching, bhikshu and bhikshuni, same right. But when we get that, bhikshu should first. So these, I think, social social sort of tendency or social sort of habit like that. If Buddha say at that time, the bhikshuni, the elder bhikshuni come first before bhikshu, then I think local people maybe, oh, Buddha, little bit sort of unusual or something. So sometimes I'm Buddhist. I also, you see, I'm sort of, I want to use more sort of discussion about Vinaya rules, which is common all Buddhist countries, Burma, Thailand, Sri Lanka, so on. So we have to sort of discuss according to today's reality. So some people, some of my friends, like the Irish president, or Mary Robinson. So one time in our meeting, she described me feminist Dalai Lama. I sort of mentioned, female should take more active role in order to promote love, compassion, like that. So then she mentioned me feminist Dalai Lama, like that. So in any way, you see, the cultural aspect, I think frankly speaking, all major religions sort of, the certain aspect, according to the society at that time, the habit of the society or culture or way of life of the society at that time, feudal society. So in the religious tradition also a little bit sort of influence of the Kasachukti, the feudal system. So therefore, the Dalai Lama institution, you see, last 400 years, 4 centuries, you see, they automatically become some kind of ruler of Tibet. This, I think, the feudal sort of way of thinking. So therefore, since 2001, I already sort of retired, semi-retired position. Then 2011, I totally retired from political responsibility. And not only myself retired, but also 4-century-old tradition, Dalai Lama institution automatically become head of both temple and spirituality, now that formally ended. So I not only feminist Dalai Lama, but also revolutionary Dalai Lama. So like that. So these, I think we have to act according to reality, isn't it? It is wrong to say, oh, it is our tradition, our tradition. It's wrong. Of course, like faith, yes. I think one occasion on our sort of the Tibetan head, because of the head Lama of our tradition, one occasion gathered, some my friend, you see, asked me, oh, the concept of shunyata is something relevant when Buddha was there. So now, 2,500 years passed, so may not be relevant to today's world. Then I respond to that person, oh, modernization and modernity mainly, you see, meant the external things, constructions, way of life, facility, or these things. Modernity, not much change our emotion. As far as emotion is concerned, the 21st century's people's emotion and Buddha's times people's emotion more or less same. So a certain concept which is a counterforce this destructive emotion, still relevant, isn't it? I think like myself, I think one example. Usually you see Tibetan, and also the Ladakis or the members in these, also is a pond. It's in different hat, right? Different hat. They consider that is the important part of preservation of their tradition. It's silly. What really need is this knowledge is come from Nalanda. Preservation of this knowledge is very important. The different shape of head and different color of head, not much important. Some people used to consider these are something very important. I think that's, I think also that, again, I may say, a little bit silly, like that. So therefore, so cultural aspect, I think like Buddhist, the bhikshuni, the highest ordination, a female. See, we last, I think, now several years, from time to time, we discuss with Burmese monks and a Thai monk or Chinese monk. So not unanimous sort of decision happen. So still we are thinking from time to time. Now, you see, we want to further sort of discussion these things. So like that. So I think some modification, cultural aspect, sometimes I feel relevant to look the reality like that. So important then on human level, in human level, you see, we really need some effort to educate moral ethics. Moral ethics means warm-heartedness, respect others' life, without talking any religion, not talking heaven, not talking hell, not talking for Buddhist nirvana on these things. Simply talking how to build happy world and all those troubles, how to reduce these bombing, terror, violence, counter-violence will not solve permanently. We must find another way, you see, from youngster, children, no differences on the basis due to different faith, different nationality. Children play together. I think that kind of spirit we must preserve. And education, you see, should help that basic human sort of nature. See, our brothers, sisters, play together. I think we can easily ask these children, at kindergarten, very young children, do you prefer your mother's smile or your mother's angry face? Oh, automatically, immediately they say, oh, smile. Oh, fortunately, my mother, we never saw angry face. Our mother, really very, very kind mother. But my father, different. So few occasions, I also used to get some blessing from my father like that. So sometimes I also feel anger towards my father. Like, and so we are. Because of taking. Cancer do it, dash. Because Kasum Yorba. Kasum. So actually, last now I think over a decade, with some with full cooperation with some scientists and some educationists, see, we already worked is how to introduce in secular education field, right? How to, what is the best way to introduce education about secular ethics? I must clarify, secular according Indian understanding. According Indian understanding, India's constitution itself based on secular. So according Indian understanding, secular means respect all religion. In the West, secular means a little bit disrespect, isn't it? So Indian understanding not like that. Respect all religion, and not only religious people, but also is a respect to non-believer. I think that's very relevant now, today's world. Out of 7 billion human beings, over 1 billion non-believer. So that's fact, that's reality. So according that understanding, so secular. Recently I met some professors in Delhi. So I discussed about that. And then they suggest to me, the word secular sometimes we say create confusion. So they prefer some different word. So I told them, yes, now this is just because of draft. So any suggestions, most welcome. So I also want to give you, not each, but I think to group that sort of draft. So please think and look, check, and any suggestion, most welcome. Perhaps next year we will going to have some kind of, firstly, national level in India, then maybe in America, with the help of Karsadi, a Mind Life Institution. You see, we are going to have some sort of a seminar about that. So any suggestions, most welcome. I hope any suggestion, complete change that book, that's too much. This one. So they do push on Christ. Nini. So three guru, two books.